What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We're back at the shop. It's another late night. We got the engine right there. So I'm filming on a new camera. Well, it's really a new phone, but I'm gonna try this out. If you guys like it, definitely comment down below. So you can see we finished up the other night, or the other video, wiring up the cluster. Now we just have to wire up the pedals. This is the brake pedal, and this right here is the gas pedal. We have to locate the clutch pedal. I'm pretty sure the clutch pedal is this little brown guy right there. And then I think that's pretty much it for the wiring. Actually, one last thing. We have to wire in the clutch or the ignition. We have a bunch of more wiring to do. But it's okay because we got all night, baby. And we're going to be grinding. Hopefully the boys get back here soon. The boys are back, and we got Dylan putting on the lower control arms and the SPC upper control arms. We're also putting on the Brembo brakes to see how my wheels will clear. You can see we got the caliper off. Dylan's already got both of this side done, and we just test fit the 5-inch lip in the front, which we're going to run the 6-inch lip, and surprisingly it had a lot of camber. Yeah, I mean, more than before. Dude. So the reason we're running camber, like I said in 2 videos ago, is because the Brembos are a lot bigger than the stock brakes, so I have to run a spacer, and to compensate for the spacer I have to run camber. So the main goal for this video is to finish up all the wiring, get this car on the ground. That's pretty much what we want to do. After we're like 80% done with the wiring. You can see Julian's wiring up the pedal for the gas plug. One more wire, and then all the pedals will be wired up. Look at all this. It looks like some backdoor redneck stuff, but we're getting down to business.
We've been using these bad boys right here to really get the job done.
Dude, those are better than the Harbor Freight Specials. Those are from fucking 1936. We found those in a Model T. So after we're done putting in all the wiring, we can put in the dash bar and then route the wiring and zip tie it all. Make sure we have every single plug. I think the only other plugs we need to wire after the pedals are the ignition wire and then the heater blower motor. And I don't think that's that many wires. But after that, we're completely done with wiring. And that's why Dylan's starting on this, because as soon as we're done with the wiring, we have to focus on getting the car on the ground. So the rear Brembos pretty much on. We didn't actually fully put it on, like the brake line and everything, because we're going to end up having to take it off to do the pads, because the pads are actually junk and choached on it. So that looks pretty fire, though. I also have to clean them up. They look really tiny in this video, but I promise you, they're big daddies. So the kit is cool that it came in, but I'm not trying to have the kit on by April 1st, how we want this car done, because the kit's going to take a lot of little tiny shaving and stuff like that for it to be mint, and I don't want to rush that at all, because the body kit's going to be definitely the face of the car. The 30mm spacer on, and you can see we have we can go to a 20mm spacer, possibly even a little bit less. We got a pretty big gap right there. Check that out. Fender's obviously not where it is. It's supposed to be a little bit turned out that way, I think. But look at the camby on that. I don't think the camera can pick it up, but the Brembo is busting through the skirts. Oof. That's the most camber I've ever ran, dude. Let's see the Brembo orange. Oh, yeah.
Busting out the pants.
Dude. So the fenders aren't perfect. The Bondo, I didn't do an amazing job. I kind of rushed them. But after this car's done, in a couple weeks after I drive it, I'm going to send the fenders to Gerardo so that he can remake them and make them hopefully look OEM. He said he could do a way better job than I did, but yeah, then it's really going to be busting, and people are really going to think this car's OEM straight from North Korea.
Yep. They're getting all the wiring done tonight.
2 a.m. Red Bull shotgun. What a fucking boy. That had half left in there.
No, it didn't. There was none in there.
This guy needs to know where the mop is. We're about to be calling 1-800-BUST his ass.
Oh! Let's go.
Damn it. Next day, we got my wheel back from Roni's. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I bent this wheel putting it on the Nissan Murano for a TikTok, and I hit a pothole and I bent it. But Roni actually made it perfect. It was on the barrel, so you can't really see it. But it looks amazing. You literally can't tell where it was hit. I think it was right here or something. I'm happy that one of my good friends from high school owns a wheel shop and can hook us up for stuff like that. VSXXs. But we have a huge update on the G70Z. Check this out, boys. The Nismo bumper came in. So this is a Nismo V1 bumper off a 370Z Nismo from 2009 to 2012. I think this is the best Nismo bumper ever made. Right next to the V3, obviously, for the 350Z Nismo. But check that out. Brand new hood, brand new bumper, good headlights, and used fenders. This thing is looking good. So a huge problem that we're having with this that we didn't have with the G50Z is right there. You can see the caster of the wheel is sitting way too far back. And it's not the caster of the wheel, it's actually the body of the car. So the 370 front end is a lot longer than the G37 front end. Option is actually bringing in the whole front end 4 to 5 inches closer. And you can see the problem with that is, one, the hood hinge is already touching up against the frame. This part probably has about 3 inches before it hits this. This part probably has about 4.5 inches before it hits the windshield. And if you guys remember on my G50Z, I couldn't run windshield wipers because I had to bring in the hood really close to the windshield. And therefore I couldn't run windshield wipers at all. So what Dylan's doing right now is that he just went to his house and he picked up his crashed hood that's a little bit worse than this. And we're going to cut that up and see if we can mock that up a little bit better than this before we do some other crazy route. I think that is our best option, is to just move in the headlights, front fender and bumper, everything back so that this gap is a little bit closer to here. So when we do put on our flare, which will be the same style flare as that, it'll match up to the wheel a lot better. All right, so we figured out the bumper to wheel gap issue. You can see what I was talking about. This part was way farther out. I was probably like that far out. But since we got the crash hood on, we cut the front of it off, just like my car. Cut it off, and you can see we have to cut a little bit more off because that's a little sketchy close to the windshield. But like I said, this is just a dummy hoodie. So pulled the whole hood back like 4.5 inches, and that pulled the headlights, fenders, and bumper, everything back. And you can see now the fitment, I would say, is perfect. Perfect. And we cut the fender because the fender usually would go out to like right here. So that's looking amazing. And my new spacers came in. I got 15 millimeter spacers. The old ones were 30 millimeter, something like that, Big Johnny's. And we got the 15 millimeter in there, and look at that. That's the craziest clearance I've ever had. You can see barely a fingernail fits through that thing. It's looking so good. And that's awesome because with a bigger spacer and more clearance, it kind of like casted a shadow on the Brembos. But with this, there's no shadow, so you can just see chromies and goldies all night long, boys. I just took the stock brakes off and the lines because I got the Brembos and they didn't come with the lines. And I have to go give these to the homeboy Nathan that bought the G35 and then pick up the Brembo line so I can actually run the Brembos, because you can see there's no line on them. But ooh, doggy, we picked this bad boy up last night. I drove all the way to Seattle. This is a screaming deal. Dylan sent it to me. Thanks, bud. I wanted to go OEM, which I still might order an OEM one, but it's like a 6-month wait through Z1. And hopefully Nissan dealership calls me back Wednesday and gets a earlier date for that. But I think this will be perfect for the time being. You can see the guy sold it. It's literally brand new. There's no holes anywhere. This is the condition of it. That mesh right there, dog water. So I'm going to have to take that out. I'm going to paint the lip black, and then hopefully that'll look a little bit better. But he sold it to me because these lips right here go a little bit higher than on a stock bumper. I understand for like a normal Z, nobody would want to run this bumper because it has dog water fitment.
Well, the best thing is you're just going to cut that all out and make the fitment. But the big thing is just, this is all correct.
Yeah, that's super clean. Like that angle of how it bends upward.
Yeah, and then fucking just cut this mesh out and then cut these small tabs out. And just leave these bigger ones. You'll be solid.
Dude, it'll be golden. But I think this is a great candidate for my car, since obviously I have all custom tabs holding on the front end. And this thing has no holes. So when I do make the holes in the tabs and the fitment, yeah, it's exactly to my car. So this thing's obviously going to get exploded because I just ordered new coilovers today, BR Extreme Lows.
Good shit.
So the car's going to be a lot lower than when it had the Godspeeds on it. And I think, well, now I know my whole kit is fiberglass, which I never thought I'd say that, but going a little bit lower plus fiberglass is going to be no bueno. This is like the last piece that I needed to buy.
I would get it for fucking like 3 months, and he's just been like, "Oh, dude, no, they always come up. I'll find one last minute."
Yep.
Nope. So we had to get this. But this
nothing, dude.
Perfectly for the time being.
When he finally convinced me to get a bumper,
they're all fucking.
They're all sold out. Like I never thought in a million years I would ever buy $1,000 bumper, or even more, like $1,300 bumper, brand new.
That's a fucking Geo Metro, dog.
Exactly.
That's a bust down Geo.
But he got the brand new Nismo bumper, and I thought, you know, this is literally the face of the car. So that's why I'm still gonna buy an OEM one eventually. Probably as soon as Nissan hits me up, I'll probably buy another one. But I think this will be good for the time being. But we're going to peace out here, guys. We're going to see you guys in the next video because the engine is going in. Hopefully it starts.
Hopefully it goes good.
Peace out, buds.
I did this all for you. Look what I turned into.